You're looking at some pictures that Wall Street Journal staffers took of the office here on Instagram. Real exciting stuff, but it illuminates a growing battle between Instagram and Twitter, because if you were to find these pictures on Twitter, you may not experience the full effect of them. And here's a statement from Twitter on its battle with Instagram. As you can see, Twitter admits that users are experiencing issues with viewing Instagram photos, but they are blaming this on Instagram disabling its Twitter cards integration. Of course, this is all amid the backdrop of Facebook having bought Instagram earlier this year. And here to talk to us about the situation is Shira Ovide from San Francisco. How you doing, Shira?
Good. How are you, George?
I'm doing fine. So explain more the battle that's brewing between Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, as you said, the internet drama of the day perhaps was Twitter sort of losing the ability to show Instagram photos, or many Instagram photos, in your stream of tweets in the proper way. So as you said, this is a sign of more tension between Twitter and Instagram, particularly since Facebook bought Instagram, closed on the deal a few months ago. And the backdrop, of course, is that Twitter and Instagram both would like to keep as many people as they can on their own services rather than sending people to those owned by rivals.
But before Facebook owned Instagram, Instagram and Twitter had a pretty good relationship going and were mutually beneficial to each other, weren't they?
That's right. I mean, I think that both Twitter and Instagram saw the other as counterweights to the heft of people like Facebook. And Twitter, in fact, had a good enough relationship with Instagram that it was in discussions. It tried to buy Instagram before Facebook swooped in with its own offer this spring. So yeah, I think they were pretty close buddies. And now, of course, that Instagram is in the camp of Facebook, you could say the relationship is not quite as chummy.
And look, we've seen this throughout the years. You know, Apple and Google, for example, at one point had good relationships that have become strained through the years. In this particular battle between Instagram and Twitter, who's more at risk? Is there one side more at risk?
It's a fair question. I'm not sure. I mean, what Instagram wants to do, of course, is they still want the ability for their users to share photos all over the place, including Twitter, where people share a lot of photos. At the same time, Instagram obviously wants to direct as much traffic as it can to its own website, which it's been beefing up in the last couple of months. So that's obviously a risky proposition for Instagram, is to annoy its own users who have gotten used to sharing photos on Twitter. For Twitter, of course, as I said, photo sharing is a very popular feature on Twitter. If photo sharing becomes not quite as seamless as it has been via Instagram, then that means people might be less loyal to Twitter. So there's risks on both sides, certainly.
Any sense of how Facebook is playing into this? I mean, obviously, we made the reference that they bought Instagram, and that probably has created the tension. But any more specific knowledge of their role in this battle?
Yeah, it'd be good to know the backroom discussions on this one. Well, what Kevin Systrom, who's the Instagram founder, said yesterday in a conference, that Facebook had nothing to do with this, that Instagram is run essentially as an independent entity inside of Facebook, and Instagram makes its own decisions, including this one. And Kevin said that this is basically about Instagram wanting to have a good user experience for its own users, and at the same time to make sure that it keeps as much of its own use space on its own websites and apps as it can.
So in your mind, how do you see this all ending?
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, well, it probably hasn't ended yet. I mean, it'll be interesting to see whether Instagram changes its mind and starts, again, allowing those Instagram user photos to show up inside of the Twitter feeds unimpeded. We'll see. I think Instagram got beat up a lot, particularly in the tech press, over this decision in the last 24 hours, and we'll see if there's any backtracking. I don't think it's the end of the world either for Twitter or Instagram if the relationship remains as it has been.
So you're suggesting there might be room for some backtracking, a reversal maybe?
In tech land, there are no final decisions.
Thanks, Sheriff, for jumping and going and helping us out at the last minute. We were hoping to get Mike Geisick on, who wrote a column about this for All Things Deep, but he had some technical issues. Thanks, Sheriff, for coming on.